It's always a party at Patchworks. Let's get this party started. Woot, woot. Hi, everyone. This is Julie from Patchworks, and I am so excited that you're joining us for another Must Sew TV tonight. Tonight, we are featuring our We Heart Tula Pink program. It is month 10 of the Nebula program. We also have a really special project in store for you. And then we're going to be talking about some things that Tula's been showing you. Ooh, plus, who knows what else you're going to see along the way. So Tammy's on the computer tonight. She is able to see your questions and relay them to me. Frank is behind the camera, and who knows, maybe he'll just have a special appearance tonight, even though he's shaking his head no. So let's get talking about our Nebula program. So for those of you who have been playing with us all year long, you know that there are 9 different diamond blocks that have been part of the Nebula program. And some of you were concerned that our We Heart Tula program would end after month 9. But have no fear, we are continuing for all 12 months. And for month 10, 11, and 12, we are going to be featuring a Dealer's Choice fabric pack. Oh, so I'll show you what my pack is a little bit later. So Julie is back from maternity leave, and if you follow her on her Nebula Sew Along pattern page on Facebook, you'll see that she has released part 1 of her 2-part series for finishing the Nebula quilt. So Tammy is going to show you that link right now, and Frank is going to put up the graphic on the Nebula finishing. So let's see where I can be so I don't get my head cut off. So here we go. And we have our finishing kits here. So this month right here is the time that you get to decide how big you want your quilt to be. So the sizes that Julie has shared in her pattern are the Queen, which is the default size, and the Queen is a 97 by 96, a King, which is bigger, and a Lap, which is smaller. And I should have, let's just open it up so I can actually tell you what those sizes are. I should have had them at the ready here. So you have the one booklet here that is the how to make the blocks, and then the finishing directions in the second booklet. So the large lap is a 90 or a 78 by 90, and that finishes as a hexagon. And then the king size is a 111 by 108. And then at the end, Julie has her cool pillow that she finishes as well. So we'll be making the pillow right at the end. And so for this month, it's really important to decide what size do you want to make. And Leslie has asked me to help her figure out how to make that large lap a little bit longer. So I'll have those directions for everybody as well. We didn't quite get all those calculations quite figured out yet. Let's look overhead at the colors that are officially part of the kit. So you have the fairy dust here and the rainbow hex, fairy dust in lavender. Then you have the wildflower, the hexy rainbow in dove, and the fairy dust in dove. Okay, so you can see how this radiates out. You can play along and have different fabrics that radiate out. If you have different fabrics altogether that you've been using, you can choose your own, and you can just see that we go from light to that ombre look that we have going on here. There is also the option if you wanted to use the line work where you use the white to black option as well. We did restock our line work selection. I believe we are currently out of Fairy Flakes in ink. However, we will be restocking that. And otherwise, we have not only kits of the queen size and the other size for our Nebula in the original True Colors, but we have, with our latest shipment, we should have every piece of True Colors and Tula Solids in stock at the moment. Super exciting. So whichever method that you choose to do with your colors, you are going to be using the Super Sidekick for the cutting of your diamonds. And the video that Julie has released this week is for choosing your colors, choosing your size, cutting your diamonds, and doing your piecing of that first section. Next week, Tuesday, she's going to be posting to YouTube, and we'll be sharing that video in our next month club if you are going to be taking a little bit longer, because we have a long time to finish this. There is no race. And she'll be sharing how to put the units together and putting that quilt top together in the next week's video. So lots and lots of content on that, and always feel free that you can come into the store and we'll be more than happy to help you with your cutting or piecing. So we do have a question, and Tammy?
Does Tula have Y-backs for us to use with the Nebula quilt?
So Tammy asked if we have wide backs that we can use for the Nebula quilt, and that is a very good question, and thank you. And you must have known that I was running around the store right before we went live pulling the available wide backs that we have in store. So let me just move these fabrics, or actually I can leave them here because that might be interesting to see. So we have, of the Tula wide backs, we have 3 current Tula wide backs in stock right now, and let's look overhead. So the first one that we have is Sketchier. So we do have Sketchier in stock, and Sketchier is all the different designs, and this is very Tula, $24.99 a yard. Her wide backs are that beautiful sateen, gorgeous, 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 and you would want 3 yards to be able to work with the Nebula on your queen size. If you wanted a king size, you would need to do piecing no matter how you did it, because that king is just a little bit too big for just a basic 108 wide back. We also have in the Curiouser both of the wide backs still available. Now, if you were looking for something a little bit more basic but still colorful, and you weren't necessarily worried about it being only Tula, one thing that I had shared is that we have the whole line of the Ombre Confetti dots by V & Company. It's a Moda fabric, and it is ombre, from light to dark, so it's hard to see overhead. Maybe we can go in, we'll look in front, Frank. So it is light to dark, and so then selvage to selvage, it goes dark, light, dark. So we have this in a variety of colors, and I pulled 2 of the colors that I thought would look good with this combination. So if we go look back overhead, We have this one here, and this one is, let's just look at the tag. This one is turquoise. Looks great. And then I also pulled the pink. There is a whole rainbow of colors assortments, but I think this is also a really great option for this. If you are going to not be done immediately or would like to wait a little bit, we can talk a little bit later in the program about the upcoming Tula wide backs that we will be getting in stock. So that is super exciting. So did that answer your question? All right. I love it when we're able to talk together. So always feel free to ask questions along the way. So now we're going to talk about a fun little project that we have for you. We have enrolled in a program called SIY, which is Sew It Yourself, and that is a Jaftex program, and I thought it would be fun to incorporate that into our Tula Club here. So I'm going to set this aside and then show you what we're going to make. So let me grab that pattern back. So I chose the fabrics that we were going to use today based on our project. We have 8 beautiful fabrics, and then I paired it with the Drippy Roses from the Curiouser and Curiouser collection because, you know, as I said, we are stocking and restocking all of our Tula to make sure that you have everything that you need. So we do have the entire collection of Curiouser and Curiouser not only available by the yard, but also available in the fat quarter, half yard, and yard towers. We've been continuing to remake them. So if you still needed to grab some, just know we do have them here. Okay, so the fabrics that I used in our pack here, if we look overhead at our fabrics, we have the Hexie in Chameleon, the Fairy Dust in Lime, the Dragon, the Dragon's Breath Legendary, so that is one of the new solids that we have. We have the Fairy Dust in Mint. We have the Hexie Firefish, the Pom Pom and Poppy, Down the Rabbit Hole in Wonder, and the Mineral in Agate. And I did pair it with the Painted Roses, which I call the Drippy Roses. So that is what we had used as a color inspiration for our pack. This pattern we have available in store, and we're going to be showing you later the fabrics that have been recommended that are the Tim Holtz fabrics, but we thought that it would be fun to make it in Tula. Now we did change it up a little bit because, you know, that's what we do here at Patchworks. So we played with, the front is exactly the same from a pattern perspective. We chose to use our favorite method of finishing off a pillow by doing the binding method. And then we played with a zipper instead of the buttonholes that are in the pattern. But all of our club members will receive the full pattern as well as a link to the Sew It Yourself tutorial that will walk you through making buttonholes as well as covering piping. We'll be making the pattern as described with buttonholes and piping in the Tim Holtz version. So this pillow is actually really simple to make. It is a simple patchwork front here, and the fun thing about it is that, so we used the fat eighth pack for all of these components, and you have a lot left over from your fat eighth pack that you can make another one, or if you had wanted to, you could even make this block and repeat the block and make it into a quilt, or use the block for a runner if a pillow was not your style. This finishes to an 18-inch pillow. We played with the tent stripe on the bias here for our binding. And then on our back side, we used the mineral and agate and then the rest of our painted roses for our sides. The zipper that we used is the 22-inch zipper that we have from Atkinson's Designs. It's our Atkinson Design zippers. And Frank, how much are these zippers? I know that they're $229, something like that. So it's a really great price on these zippers. We also have them available in the shorter lengths, and because we sell them in bulk without packaging, we're able to offer such a great price on that, and you can trim them down to the size that you need. So you can see here that the 22-inch size we trim down for the 18. You always want to make sure before you're trimming anything down that that zipper pull is between where you need it to be. And the one thing that I also want to point out is that when we trim our zippers, we like to have it be from the middle so that we don't have this metal edge exposed on our project. And that just gives it that really fancy professional finish. So that is one of your Patchworks tips here. Now, because this is a nylon zipper, you also are able to sew through it or cut it with ease. So that's really nice. We're not going to talk about the actual cutting or basic piecing of this in this video, but after your top and back are together, you are going to back it with a fusible fleece. You could use batting leftovers, but this fusible fleece is really nice. It's Pellon 9987F, a lightweight polyester batting, craft batting that has fusible on one side, really nice and thin. It is 45 inches wide, so you would be able to get away. I would still get more than a half yard of this. I would get 5/8 of a yard, and you have more than enough to make the whole pillow. The other difference that we did here with the pillow is because we did a bound finish instead of a piped edge, we did trim down the pillow to 18.5 rather than leaving it at that 19 because we didn't need it for the turning out. So that was the one difference, so that the pillow was nice and snug in there. And then Heidi played with some nice straight line quilting, practicing along here to be able to just have some fun. We used some basic pink Aurifil thread that just blended in beautifully. However, you could play with different threads, you could play with different designs, whatever you would like to be able to build those skills and have lots of fun. And Tammy has another question for us.
Karen is wondering, why do you put fusible fleece on the back stability?
Oh, so Karen wants to know, why do we put fusible fleece on the back? And that is a really good question. So you want to make sure when you're working with things, you could make it like a little quilt sandwich and use whatever batting that you had. With the fusible fleece here, we did not put a lining fabric in. We fused it, and it has some really nice stability here so that we don't need a lining fabric. If you had a lot of batting scraps, you absolutely could simply make a quilt sandwich where you would layer the old-fashioned way with your pillow top, your batting, and then a very simple lining fabric and quilt it that way. But you, for the best finish, would want to make sure that you have something besides just the fabric. There have been some pillows that I have made along the way that I have simply used a interfacing with, but this fusible fleece is really nice. It's 100% polyester, and so it's not going to stretch and behaves very nicely. Our twist on this pattern for the back has a vertical zipper. Most of the time I have a horizontal zipper. In this particular modification that we made, since the original was an envelope closure with buttons down the back, we chose to keep the orientation that the original pattern had, so that was a vertical zipper, and that just also plays well with being able to try different things. With using the directional fabric here, as we added that ½ yard of painted roses, you would want to make sure to fussy cut for your front and your back, having the directionality be the direction that you wanted. Now for the binding. Now in one of our very, very first presentations that we had for We Heart Tula Pink, we also presented the 10 stripe binding on the bias, and it was received so well, we thought we would go ahead and share it with you again. So club members, you have received the basic instructions in your club pack that's available tomorrow for pickup. And if you are not in club and you wanted this, please feel free to ask us, and we'd be more than happy to give you the handout for the easy bias cut binding. So I'm just using a square here. So this is a square that is, I believe, 18 by 22, which would be a fat quarter. If you are using a full quilt, what you'd want to do is, binding for a full quilt, I like to go ahead and get 1.25 yards, okay, because you want to make sure that you have as close to a square as possible. So 1.25 yards is 45 inches, which then goes with the full length of fabric, 44, and it's easier to work with a square or something close to a square. What you will do is you will start selvage to selvage, or selvage and cut edge, and you are going to fold it in half here at the 45-degree line, okay? Now it's like we're playing origami. We're then going to take this and rotate it so that it is perpendicular to us. Now you are going to take this bottom edge and you are going to bring it up. You see that? So that we have a nice 90-degree angle here. And then we will take this top with all of the layers and bring it down. Do you see that? And then what we're going to do is that from this edge here, we're going to trim off the excess. So you'll trim off this edge, and then you'll cut, if you like a 2.5 like I do, you'll cut 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And you could continue through the edge if you needed that. And that's why I like to have a bigger piece of fabric so that you have less pieces that you have to attach together. All right, so let's do that one more time. We have our piece of fabric that we're going to lay out. Okay, I'm pulling it down here. So it's selvage to selvage if you have a whole yard piece. Otherwise, if it's a selvage to cut edge, okay, then your cut edge is down here. So we're going to take the edge, the bottom edge of our fabric, and we're going to fold it up 45 degrees. Okay. you can absolutely, especially if you're working with a larger piece of fabric and you want to make sure that your stripes are lined up just right, you by all means can go ahead and press it, okay, with an iron so that it's perfect, perfect, perfect. Now that it's folded 45 degrees, I'm going to have you rotate it so that it's perpendicular to your body. This is the folded edge. This was your top selvage edge. This is that part that you flipped up. Now this bottom point, you're going to bring it up, okay? Bring it up here so you have a 90-degree angle there. If you wanted to, you can absolutely press it so that it's nice and straight. Got it? All right. Then you're going to take your top and bring it down. And now you're ready to cut. So we'll straight cut this, and then we'll cut 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And then you'll attach your strips together. Now I do prefer to spray starch my fabric before I do any of my cutting, and that way, especially since you're working on the bias, it will not do crazy things. For your fabrics, for your bias binding, if you've never used bias binding, I highly recommend that you try it. Even if you're not going around curves, it actually is beautiful and it makes your binding look like $1 million. I recommend that you try it. And on a little pillow like this, it works really, really well. So now that this is all finished, so you put your binding together, and then to finish this off, you put your two pieces together, wrong sides together, and simply bind this like you would bind a quilt, and it gives the impression of faux piping. And I love, love, love that method for finishing my pillows. As I said, we used an 18-inch pillow for our project here, and we do carry the Hobbs Poly Down pillows. I don't believe they're on our website, but we do carry them in the 12, 14, 18, 20 inch sizes, and we also have the travel pillow size. For those of you that like to work with stuffing, we also carry the Poly Down stuffing. And you might be saying, Julie, why don't you have that on your website? And you know, things like this are really, really hard to ship. We absolutely could ship them, but this convenience item is priced for the local. We love to ship everywhere, but we would have to add pricing to be able to ship it, as this is really large and bulky. So this pillow is $9.99 in store, and the Hobbs Poly Down is really soft and fluffy. Any questions on the pillow? All right, so I know I've been watching Tula Talks on Tuesday, and I know you have been watching Tula Talks on Tuesday. And this past week, we all got a giant surprise. So the Tula release, as well as all of the Jaftex releases, happened before anyone was ready. And I know a lot of you found out about them at about the same time that I did. And so everyone was surprised and everyone's excited, and Tula talked about them. So because of all of the chatter about that, we decided to do something really amazing, exciting, and spectacular. Okay, so are you sitting down? Are you ready? We are going to be offering pre-order, pre-sales on the upcoming Tula lines. What? It's like Patchworks is entering 2021. So for the first time, we have put up Daydreamer, Tiny Beasts, and Tiny Coordinates onto our website. We'll be going through them, and so for those of you that are Tula Club members, this is your opportunity to hop into the pre-sales, use that club discount to be able to apply to your pre-sale and guarantee your orders for these upcoming lines. So let's talk about the first one, and that is our Daydreamer. So Daydreamer, that one is slated for November. And it's been out for a little bit, but I know a couple weeks ago, Tula did a presentation on that as she's gotten some fabric samples for that. And it's just so, so beautiful. Let me get my notes here because I'm just going to grab my notes. So for Daydreamer, it is scheduled for a November delivery. Of course, delivery dates have been impacted by the world, so scheduled for November. And her artist statement is, when I designed Daydreamer, I was 5 months into shelter-in-place order in my state. I was stuck at home in the Midwest during the rainiest summer in recent memory. I did what I do best and imagined myself in another place, in another world, and I drew everything that I saw while I was there. I spent a lot of time there. It was lovely. Daydreamer is an escape to a surreal place to make believe and wonder. Everything here is happy and light. When I first landed, I met a pair of striped-legged flamingos nibbling on the very shrimp that give them a radiant pink color. Overhead, I witnessed a flock of vividly colored macaws in all their vibrant plumage, soaring through an ombre-colored sunset. An array of omniscient butterflies landed on my shoulders and fluttered their soft wings against my cheek as a sweet, welcoming hello. In the tall grass behind me lurked a family of rainbow jaguars that sparkled like constellations under a full moon. A panorama of tiny rainbows lit up the sky and reminded me of the magic that happens when the sun meets the rain. The sweet nectar of tropical fruits bloomed all around me, filling the air with fresh, sugary delight. Daydreamer is like a warm blanket that I can wrap my mind in when it's cold and rainy outside. I'm a daydreamer, and I think you might be a daydreamer too. So, of course, Tula says it much better than I can. I'm not going to go through all of the fabrics, as I'm sure you've seen them already, but we will be carrying all 22 SKUs, all of the pre-cuts, and we'll be making half yard and yard towers as well. We're also carrying the Pining for You quilt kit, which is a beautiful collection of pineapples, and this includes all of the Daydreamer fabrics as well as has some gorgeous solids in there. The Pining for You quilt is $1.99, and the collection has 3 wide backs. We will be carrying all 3 wide backs, and those also would be fabulous options for you for your Nebula quilt. They have a little bit more of a pastel tone to them, so that could be a great option for your Nebula. And I believe that Tammy has put on the link for you for our Daydreamer collection. Now the big news, big news was the Tiny Beasts. And the Tiny Beasts was the surprise collection that we got to see. And this would have been the release that we would have seen for fall market. And so fall market isn't quite happening in our industry. So instead, what we're finding is that a lot of the manufacturers and designers are going direct to you to be able to share with you all the latest and greatest things, which is super exciting because that way you can tell me about all this amazing stuff because they're afraid that I'm going to miss out and not being able to absorb and see all the great stuff. So Tiny Beasts is scheduled as an April 2022 delivery. So this is really crazy because how it's working now is that since we're not able to go to market, they're going direct to you, and so you're seeing things far, far, far in the future earlier from what you would have seen them, because you'd see them when I'd be buying them. So it's a 2022 delivery, and of course delivery dates might be impacted by the vendor. This particular collection has 14 SKUs and 2 wide backs. In Tula's artist statement, she says, Tiny Beasts and the new addition to True Colors, the Tiny Coordinates, are designed interdependently, but definitely intended to work together. Playing with the smaller scale, the Tiny Beasts collections focus on backyard animals and what they might be up to when we're not looking. In One Man's Trash, tiny raccoons go searching for treasure in garbage cans. There are so many little treasures to find in this print, including soda cans, fish bones, banana peels, wishbones, and one raccoon desperately clutching the greatest treasure of all, a half-eaten apple core. Yum! In Dear John, a flowering antlered polka-dotted deer is camouflaged among the flora, nibbling on grass and berries. In Bear With Me, a filigreed honey bear is poised under a dripping beehive, hoping to catch some of the liquid gold. He is surrounded by striped honeybees, busily conjuring his favorite snack. Who's Your Dandy finds that some lovable hedgehogs have become a part of the landscape and transformed into living dandelions, their seeds blowing away in a windy field of wildflowers. In Oh Nuts, some Technicolor squirrels are preparing for the coming winter and collecting as many striped acorns as they can gather. In Outfoxed, several energetic foxes are leaping away in an effort to hide amongst the blooms and escape capture from their latest prank. Finally, the Painted Ladies print is an ombre wash of color of layered polka dots. Almost every print references a dot of a stripe to stay connected to the tiny coordinates with the new True Colors additions. Tiny dots and tiny stripes. The tiny stripes and tiny dots are an evolution of the Palms and Tent stripes that started Tula Pink's True Colors. These prints are designed to be incredibly useful as an addition to any fabric collection designed by Tula Pink or used completely on their own as an inspired spectrum of color. These prints and colors will fit seamlessly into existing True Colors and will feature heavily in future Tula Pink print collections. So this is just awesome, awesome, awesome. We have 14 SKUs and 2 wide backs. So we have these wide backs, oh my goodness, I think they are amazing. Now this small piece here, we have 2 different views. We have the glimmer and the glow, and I just have included a small square of each for you to see, so you can see both there. And I think this might be my favorite wide back of all time. So I know you want to finish your Nebula before April of next year. So you're just going to have to think of another project that you're going to want to make with that. And I think I've seen in some projects that Tula's working with that she even fussy cuts out these giant ladybugs, because these are larger scale, into some other fun projects. So they're gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We have 2 quilts that I'm going to show you. And so the first quilt there, I didn't write the name down. And this is a, oh, that's the Nutty Quilt Kit. Thank you. So the Nutty Quilt Kit is the official kit that's available with this fabric line. And so the way that this works is that it's an exclusive pattern to the quilt kit, and only a limited number of quilt kits will be available. So you're going to want to make sure to get that ordered in sooner than later. It's really fun, really exciting. I believe the quilt kit is $229, and it is a beautiful selection of all the fabrics. It is on our website. And so Tammy wanted to make sure that it was on our website. So to clarify, since we're not going through all of the options on our website, for the Tiny Beasts collection, we have all of the yardages available independently. We have the quilt kit, which is the Nutty Quilt Kit available. We have all of the pre-cuts, so the 5-inch, the 10-inch, the 2.5-inch strip. And the way the 5, 10, and 2.5-inch strip work with this particular Tiny Beast line is that it's a combination of the tiny coordinates and the Tiny Beasts. So you have 42 fabrics, so you're going to have some duplicates in there, but you have the coordinates and these 14 main fabrics in there. Then for the fat quarter bundles, there's 3 different options. There's a fat quarter bundle that is the glow, that is a combination of the glow themed of the Tiny Beasts and the tiny coordinates, a glow themed or a glimmer themed of the tiny coordinates and Tiny Beasts. Then you have the fat quarter bundle of just the 14 Tiny Beasts. Whew. And then we also have our patchwork offerings where we have our half yard or yard bundle offerings. Of course, if you wanted to go up or you wanted like a bolt of everything in the collection, by all means, we can hook you up. So that is super exciting. There's also another quilt that we had seen in the materials, and that one is heaped. What is that one called, Frank? I'm sorry, what is it? Lend a paw. So that is a beautiful pattern. It's going to be a downloadable pattern off the Free Spirit website. It's more of a traditional pattern. We'd be more than happy to kit that up. That one is not on our website. So if you are interested in Lend a Paw, ahead of time, let me know, because that way we can accommodate and account for future kits and get you hooked up to reserve one. We're going to show you now the 24 new Tiny True colors, which are the tiny stripes and tiny dots that are the evolution of the palms and 10 stripe prints that are great to work with. All the Tula stuff, they can work apart. They're going to be part of the new basics. Super, super cool. And I just love, love, love the tiny little pin stripes and tiny little pin dots. So 24 SKUs in there. For the pre-cuts that are, so yardage is available on the website, as well as the pre-cuts. The pre-cuts that are available, they will have the 2.5-inch strips, 5-inch squares, 10-inch squares, just with this collection, as well as the fat quarter towers, half-yard towers, and yard towers. Or, of course, the full bolt collection. There are no wide backs associated with the new Tiny True colors. Oh my goodness. So the patterns that we have here are listed on the website. Let us know if we missed anything along the way, or if you have seen any other things that you need us to get, because we still have a lot of time that we can get certain things. So was that exciting that we shared that? Was that exciting that we have that available? For Tula Club members, you are able to secure your club discount pricing on that, even if it's going to be into the 2022 year, as long as you have placed those orders before the end of the calendar year. All right. So I do want to let you know a couple other things here. We need to have a trivia question. Oh my goodness, I have not told you about any trivia questions. Okay, so we have a couple fun prizes today. So, all right, let's see, a trivia question. So first prize will be a palms, beautiful little piece of fabric here. I think this is a full fat quarter. Woohoo, from Free Spirit, thank you so much. And your first trivia question is, how many fabrics are going to be released in the new Tiny True Colors that is going to be released in April of 2022. So put your answer below. We will be drawing one random winner on Saturday morning to win this beautiful piece of fabric. So no purchase is necessary there. All right. Then we'll have a couple other ones before we go. All right, so in the Tula Fabric Land, we did get more of the black flannel for the holiday homies back in stock. So that is something that I know a lot of you were interested in. So we have that back in stock, and so we have all of the holiday homies still ready to go. I think we should look at some show and tell. What do you think? All right. So I'm going to hop on over by Frank so that I can look at the beautiful show and tell with you. So the first show and tell we have is Eileen has finished her Nebula. Oh my goodness, that's so gorgeous. So you can see here an option for how to finish it up. That is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Great job, Eileen. Roberta, she has been busy catching up on her Nebula blocks. And so look at her blocks here. And I love, 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 I didn't pay her to do this. She has them up on her Cafe design wall. So we do have the design wall flannel in stock here and available. I believe it's also on our website. And then Sarah, oh my goodness. So Sarah's been playing with square tuffets, and this is really awesome. You can see the queen here. And so she's using her Curious and Curiouser as well as the black and white stripe from line work, and as well as the dot from line work. And then you can see the side view of her square tuffet. That is so beautiful. So we share all of our show and tell from, or you can see and share show and tell with others on our Patchworks Party, which is our Facebook group. I think we should do another trivia question because I did not do a bunch of trivia questions earlier. I just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. So our other trivia question, our next trivia question, and we are going to feature, look at this beautiful fabric. So we have a great piece of fabric here for you. And the next question is, what is Tula's next fabric line called? The one that's coming in November that has flamingos and jaguars and butterflies and all things really, really awesome and dreamy. What is the name of that line? And you are going to be eligible to win this beautiful piece of fabric. So we've been getting lots of other fabric in the store. I know you find that really, really, really hard to believe. And so I want to show you a new basic that is from our friends at Jaftex, and that is the new blender from Tim Holtz. So Tammy's going to yell at me because this just came in today, and so it's not on the website yet. And so this is the Worn Croc, and isn't this a great, 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 great fabric line? I love this texture. It is definitely could be used for skins, but it's really masculine. I'm gonna put it this way. I started going too far that way. Can we see it? Here we go. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 different fabrics in this collection. Thank you, Tammy. She had other fabrics here prepped and I just grabbed different ones. I went rogue. Okay, so we have 4. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you all 8 in here without dropping the bolts. So you can see here how beautiful these are. Now, this particular worn crock goes with the fabrics from foundations, which are used in the Sew It Yourself. If you've seen any advertised materials, so we have the official advertised materials and we'll be putting together kits for the pillow as shown. And this has that collage-y, ephemera kind of look. So it's different from a lot of the things that we carry, but I love how all of this works. So Tim Holtz has that sort of look. So we have rulers. Uh-oh, we have questions. Tammy's laughing over there, so she's yelling at me, I'm sure, in her head. So, Tammy, do you have a question for me?
Linda Wiles, I love this so much. She says, how does the shop owner go rogue?
So side commenting over there. Side commenting. So thanks, Linda, for sticking up for me. So we will have these available online. They're available in store. It's hard to keep up with all of the stuff. It's happening so quick, which is so exciting. So that is the Tim Holtz new additions that we have in the store. We do have Tim's Christmas time and his Halloween collection in store right now. So that is, the worn crock will actually go really well with any of his pieces. And then the, oh, I should know what the name of his other basic that we have that has the speckled paint splotches on it. So it'll go with that too. In the Jaftex world, we also have some really fun, are these glow in the dark, Frank? They have stickers on them, so these are glow in the dark. We have some really fun bug things. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Let's look overhead at it. So you are getting this brand new. I know I'm not going to see you online for, well, I mean like a whole week, right? So I have to show you this stuff. So these are bugs. So we have 5 new bug pieces because, well, we gotta love the bugs. Am I in the wrong place, Frank? So this here is glow in the dark. This one is glow in the dark. And this one is glow in the dark. And what is really fun, next time you're in the shop, you're going to have to ask Tammy because Tammy just made a quilt for someone using the glow in the dark from a Studio E Halloween collection. And she took a picture of it in the dark. I should have included it on our show and tell here. And it is just amazing. It really is glow in the dark. So that is fun to be able to play with that. So if you need a creepy crawly fabric collection, this one will fit the bill just perfectly. Also in the Jaftex world, we just got in some teal fabrics. So 6 prints that make a sweet little collection. We're going to be putting in together a pack and showing you some project options with this, but once again, just came in today, wanted to share it with you. And while it couldn't be here for September, which is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, it is here now, and it is a beautiful line that could make beautiful quilts. If you wanted to have it away from anything cancer related, these colors here make an elegant collection that have just beautiful and floral. So that is the Blank Quilting Ovarian Cancer collection. And lastly, tonight I'm just going to be sharing with you, since it's all the holidays, right? We got to talk about those gnomies. So we have some St. Patrick's Day gnomies. I promised you that I was trying to capture all of the gnomes I could find, and so we have some beautiful, or cute, I don't know if they're beautiful, they're cute gnomes here with some hats and then we have some great shamrocks here. And so they are shamrocks and not 4-leaf clovers. If you're from Milwaukee, you know the difference between your shamrock and 4-leaf clover. So thank you so much, Timeless, for making sure that you gave us shamrocks. So we have one more trivia question tonight, and we'll do the trivia question first, and then I'll answer your question, Tammy. So the trivia question, oh my goodness, I see some vintage Tula here. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Okay, so our trivia question is, what is the name of the quilt along we have been playing with our Tula fabrics all year long? What is the name of this quilt that we have been playing with all year long? So we do have patterns and kits available still. Frank's shaking his head, and one of you will be eligible to win this gorgeous piece of fabric. Tammy, what is your question?
Kathy wanted me to remind you to tell them about the guild meeting.
Oh, thank you. So we have some really exciting event things coming up, and we are going to be we were invited to speak at the Tosa Quilters. It's the yellow piece of paper, Frank, if you can hand that to me. Thank you so much. We're really official here with all of our notes and papers everywhere. So we are going to be presenting at the Tosa Quilters Guild, and we're going to be having our Patchworks party on the road. Woot, woot. And all of you are invited, and so that's super exciting. We'll be posting later. I don't have it at the, I need to post it to this post. It's October 19th at 7 p.m. It is in the heart of Tosa and just about 10 minutes from the shop here. We'll be at 7 p.m. and sharing everything fun and exciting that's going on at Patchworks, and sharing with you some fun quilts and project inspiration and just fun to get together. So if you have a guild or group that would like to host us, we would be more than happy to attend. And thank you so much, Kathy, for asking me to remind everyone, and let us know if that's something that you're interested in attending, so that we can make sure that you know exactly where to go. Any other questions?
If somebody wanted to join the Tula Club,
Yes.
how would they go about it?
So if you are looking to join Tula Club, what I would like you to do is comment and we will contact you. I'm not sure what is showing on our website right now with it being in the middle of the year. It's a calendar promotion, and what we'll do is we will get you hooked up with our previous month's collections, so you get a bunch of fabric, bunch of fun pattern inspirations. We can get you caught up and you have amazing savings along the way. But always lots of fun for Tula lovers. We will be continuing with a Tula Club in 2022. I plan on having all of the details for you in November for what that's going to be, but we are going to be continuing with the Tula Club. So for all of you who have had a lot of fun with us this year and want to continue, please be assured that we will have our fun options available through the 2022 year. So the question is for this month? Yeah. So a question is, when is Moda this month? And the answer is this month it will be the third Thursday. And we've already started receiving lots of fabric, which is fabulous. So right now we are currently in a fabric delivery period, which is fabulous. And we are going to enjoy the fabric deliveries while they are available. So the question was asked, is the plan for next year to do the Tula butterfly quilt? And that is the plan, to do the Tula butterfly quilt. I haven't seen it released yet. Has anyone seen it released yet? So it is contingent upon, the plan is it contingent upon it being actually released. And then we will be doing a fabric bundle every month as well with it that you can either collect or use it for that quilt. So it is not a requirement that you actually make the quilt as part of our fun. The other bonus is that while we're playing along in Tula Club, that means that we are committed to bringing in all of those new Tula fabrics. I'd like you to give us feedback on the pre-orders. As I said, this is the first time we're really dipping our toes into truly pre-ordering from a line perspective. It's kind of a little bit of a different business concept than how we operate on the day-to-day with selling in the store, but we want to make sure that we can jump into 2021 and be able to make sure that you are assured that you can get all of your fabrics from us. Any other questions? Okay, so one of our lucky show and tell people will be getting a gorgeous out of print Tula fabric. Margaret brought us all sorts of really awesome stuff to be able to share with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Margaret. So cross your fingers and toes if you were in the drawing. And congratulations, Sarah. You are receiving this beautiful piece of Tula fabric. Yay! Before I let you go, I think Tammy had one more question for us. So the question is it the new butterfly quilt or a different one? And Tula was revamping the butterfly quilt. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to come. And the plan was that we would be playing with her revamped version. So as everything can be, always open for discussion and open for being able to check and plan. But the thing that I really liked about the butterfly quilt is that it's a unusual sampler where we're able to play with not only traditional shapes, but also some irregular shapes and being able to position those blocks to be able to get an alternating design, which is really awesome. I know that a few of you have asked about Toes in the Sand and the Daydreamer fabric collection. So let us know if that is something you are interested in, because it's not going to be presented exactly as the Nebula quilt project was being presented. We will offer kits to anyone who is interested, but we were not planning on having our whole Tula Club being based on the Toes in the Sand. Any other questions, Tammy?
Linda's wondering, if we do the butterfly quilt, what fabrics will we use?
So Linda wants to know all about the butterfly quilt and next year. And so what I'm going to ask is, I know it's really super hard, but because I don't have all the details, I don't want to make stuff up. So I am going to make you hold on, and we're going to have a little bit of excitement until we have our formal club release for 2022 next month. So thanks so much for your patience. It's secret. It's really not secret. We just need to have more information to be able to share what we plan to do. So thank you everyone for watching. You'll be seeing, as we see all sorts of stuff and you see things during October, you feel free to let me know if there's things that you see that you want me to check out, like the 2022 Aurifil color builders, things like that, because we typically see those things at the end of October when we go to our trade show. And so we're processing all of this information through October to be able to present to you our club offerings in November for the 2022 year. So we'll have lots of really fun things to be able to share with you and continue all the good fun. Thanks so much for watching, for tuning in. We invite you to tune in every Thursday night for our Must Sew TV. Happy quilting, and we'll see you soon.